Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And you can see I'm right back in the same boat again with my voice. So sorry. So I will try to make it through this entire chat with my voice intact. We will see how it goes. I'm going to try and get caught up with you all here, though. Let me see. Let's see. Well, I have a feeling I am with you, and I will try really hard to not start coughing. So you can see that the crazy, crazy East Tennessee weather, we had like short and t-shirt weather on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, and then snow in the prediction for Friday. And let's see, I'm gonna get caught up here with you real quick. So when that started, that was it. And hello, Deanna. Let me get caught up here so I can say hey and hello. Hello, Deanna. Hello, John from the Peanut Gallery. Hello, Sylvia. Let's see, Trish and Cindy are sneaking in here. Hello, Elaine. So sorry again about the voice. Don't know what to tell you. Crazy East Tennessee weather. Hello, Carol Lou. It is just doing it again. Hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go get something for this. Somebody told me that the only way to shake it is to, Orlando Debbie will be down there a week from Saturday, so just keep that in mind. Hello, Anna. Somebody told me the only way to shake this if it keeps happening over and over and over again is to go get a steroid, which I really don't want to do, but I guess I'm going to have to. And hello, Kim. Hello, Lisa from Arkansas. Hello, Sandy. It is good to see you. So yeah, sorry about my voice again. Hello, Mary from snowed in Pittsburgh. We had t-shirt and short weather, 6 inches of snow, and now it's just light sweater weather again. So hence the voice again. Hello, Linda from Rock Island, Illinois, and hello, Hattie. So hey, hello everybody. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Today is Sunday, March the 13th. And in case you hadn't noticed, the voice is cruddy again. Hello, Sherry from Cape Coral, Florida. I don't know what to say about it. And hello, Rita. So if anybody has any fantastic cures besides hot tea, honey, because I've been doing all those again. Hello, Lynette from South Carolina. Hello, Carol. I don't know what to tell you. Hello, Marlene from Largo, Florida. Hello, Roberta. So I don't know, for somebody who makes their living talking to people, this stinks. Okay, so anyway, my day job, I really need my voice too. So anyway, and yes, Debbie, we are driving down on the 26th, and aloha, Kathy. So today is March the 13th. I am crummy again. Hello, Rosie. I don't know, Sherry, does pineapple work? Because I'm about ready to try anything. I mean, seriously, anything. I've had hot tea, I've had honey, I've had water, I've had resting my voice, I've had not coughing, I've done not clearing my throat. Sherry, I do not think I have tried ginger tea. And hello, Trish. Oh, let's see, Trish just walked in from her San Diego birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Trish. And my accountability buddy, Karen, is in San Diego this week. She is there visiting her son. Anyway, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. We'll see how far we can make it with the voice. We can thank the crummy East Tennessee weather for this. And as soon as the Mary whiskey and honey, I have both of those at home. So I might sleep well, but last time I did nothing, absolutely nothing for my voice. Anyway, so I'll just keep talking and see how far we can make it. But yeah, fantastic East Tennessee weather, and all the Bradford pears have started blooming, so it's just like a double whammy. Anyway, sorry about the voice. So for those of you who have only been here for just a few months, hello, Lynn, I hope you're feeling better. Everybody, Lynn is here, and she was in the hospital last week, so everybody checking on Lynn. But for those of you who have only been with us for a few months, you probably think this is how I sound. You probably think this is normal. Not normal. This is not a normal voice for me. Anyway, this is March the 13th. I am Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If you can't understand what I'm saying, if it just sounds like a garbled mess because of the fantastic voice again, you will be able to go over to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com here in a day or two, and Jessica will have all of the written notes from tonight's chat there. If you want to listen to this over and over and over again with the creepy voice, Casey will have this on YouTube. That's just youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg. She'll have that probably tomorrow. She's already got the badge ready for tonight, so who knows? She may have it up, and actually tonight as soon as we get done. Who knows? And Lynn is feeling much better. That is fantastic news. Okay. Speaking of news, a little bit of news for March so that we can get through this as long as my voice will hold out. Oak Ridge guys and gals, so if you are in the East Tennessee area and if you wanted to attend a workshop in Oak Ridge, Gwen has successfully opened the community workshop at Oak Ridge. If you need some more information on that, you can go to Connect, and you can go to the West Knoxville group, and it will bring up the Oak Ridge information. Or you can email Gwen at wwmet.net. wwmet.net. Gwen at wwmet.net, which stands for Weight Watchers Middle and East Tennessee, MET. Okay, in more WW news, and I'll see if I can get through this whole thing. So I ran across, hello Katie. So I ran across another news article for WW, and I wanted to read you some information just because I thought this was interesting. So Weight Watchers has been evaluated across United States, United Kingdom, Germany, China, and Australia, as far as being, and it's been found to be a program that produces significant weight loss in each of those countries. So, and thank you, Sherry says, we can understand you. Hope you feel better soon. Yeah, don't feel bad. Just can't talk as usual. Yeah, and hello, Kathy. And again, if you've only been with us for a couple of months, you probably think this is how I sound. Okay, but anyway, based on that, so WW, I just want to give you a little bit of information, and hello, Scott. WW has been found to be more effective for sustained weight loss. So that means weight loss that has been sustained for at least 6 to 12 months compared to a physician's counseling. So WW has been proven more successful even compared to your physician's counseling. It's 2 times more effective for weight loss than just being counseled by a physician. Hello, Sandra from Illinois. My gut tells me that that's because when you join WW, and hello Myrna, when you join WW, you get all of us, and hello Sandra from Illinois, you get all of us and you get this support group. When your doctor advises you to lose weight, it's just hey, why don't you lose some weight, come see me next year, hello Marlene, and you don't get a support group with it. But I think WW is 2 times more effective than your physician prescribing weight loss for you because of this community. Also, it is 3 times more effective in producing at least 10% weight loss than other professionally delivered programs. So I'm not going to go into the details of what all of those are, but it is 3 times more effective. And out of 141 commercial and proprietary weight loss programs, WW was identified as one of the top 2 programs that clinicians prescribe. So if someone is going to prescribe a weight loss program for you, it's in the top 2, okay? It's one of the top 2. Anyway, that was just a little bit of news that I wanted to share. If you want to read that entire article and get all of the statistics, if you are interested in things like that, there will be a link to that article in the notes when Jessica posts those here in just a couple of days, here in a day or 2. Hello, Vicky. Okay, again, today is March the 13th. I'm Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. I will talk as much as I can. So literally just a creepy voice again. I don't know. Somebody told me I'm going to have to I'm just going to have to suck it up and go get a steroid to get this kicked. But we will talk as long as we can. And again, I don't know who he is. It's just me and Dusty, and he's not saying anything. Okay, so this month's theme is build momentum, and we've been building momentum all the month of March. Part of that momentum is attending an in-person workshop if you can, or attending with us here, or both. I think it just helps. I think it helps to prove these statistics that I just read off to you. So give me a thumbs up if you were able to attend an in-person workshop last week, or if you went to a Zoom workshop. So give me a thumbs up for that if you're here with us live. If you are here with us later on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. You can just do a thumbs up emoji. Or you can say me, I set my bottom in a chair. So thumbs ups if you sat your bottom in a chair. Yep, and Linda's bottom was in a green chair again. Or if you attended a Zoom workshop. And let's see some hearts if you were here with us live last week, or if you watched later on demand. Yep, and Kim's all hearts. So Linda and Kim were all over it. Oh, and Sylvia sent me a recipe for a cold buster tea for my throat. I hope it works because I'm really getting tired of this. Really getting tired of this. And in case you didn't notice it, Alyssa was with us last night. We had Alyssa and Bo last night. John has Alyssa tonight. So hopefully Alyssa will do all the talking and will just let me sit there and be silent and just nod my head. But I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so bravo to everyone who went to an in-person workshop last week, or attended a Zoom workshop, and or was here with us live, or watched this later on demand. So bravo, everyone. So again, this month's theme is build momentum. This is chat number 264. 264, and it's titled Healthy Choices Made Easy. The more we do this, the easier the choices get. Okay, the more that we talk to each other, the more that we realize that we're not in this alone, the easier those choices get. So last week, though, we were talking about stopping self-sabotage. And we do it. I do it. It doesn't matter how long, hello Loretta, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. self-sabotage is going to happen. And it doesn't just have to be in your weight loss program. Self-sabotage happens in all areas of life. And so last week we talked about how to stop that, kind of how to, put a nix on that. And we all admit it. You've been at work all day, or you've had kids all day, or you've been nannying all day, or whatever it is that you've been doing all day long. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you've waited too long to eat, different things can happen. And you accidentally put yourself in this sabotage position. So I don't think anybody says, I'm going to plan to put something that I shouldn't have in my vehicle so that when I leave work hungry and tired, I can sabotage myself and eat it instead of eating some real food. So I don't think anybody does that on purpose, okay? It might feel like it sometimes, when you start to beat yourself up over it, but I don't think anybody is doing that on purpose. So the example last week was too tired, didn't eat in time, didn't have enough protein, went across the street. The sweet little Girl Scouts were standing there, the sweet, sweet little Girl Scouts, and you want to support the Girl Scouts, so buy some cookies, just to support the Girl Scouts. And then the next thing you know, you've eaten a sleeve of Girl Scout cookies and you've smuggled the other half away in your car so that no one can see it, so that there are no witnesses, and that's just setting yourself up for sabotage later. So that's just, somebody told me that, not that it was personal experience. Okay. So last week I asked you though to do 3 things to kind of, draw a line, make a stand, just stop. Loretta says, what do you do when your adult child moves back in and has kids with them every weekend? Talk about self-sabotage. Yeah. Well, that's called sitting down and having a family meeting. Okay. So if you've got that many people in your house, you'll just sit down and have a family meeting. That's what I would do first to stop that self-sabotage. But I asked you to do 3 things. The first thing was to press rewind. Kind of go back and make up a list of what, make a list of what happened to lead up to that point. Hello, Sherry. Could be too tired. Could be didn't have enough to eat. Could be wrong place, wrong time. Didn't have the right things in the refrigerator. Just go back and think what led up to that point. Then think about what happened and try to create a new ending. So try to picture the same scenario, but a different ending. So instead of going across the street and getting the Girl Scout cookies, maybe you reached in your purse and got the apple that you had packed, or the little pack of nuts that you had, or you bypassed the store and decided to go to the store another day. Okay. So think about a different ending for that. And then you have to let the hero or the heroine redeem him or herself. So write it down, track it, go ahead and admit it, go ahead and get it, get it on paper, get it tracked so that you know what you did and you can move on. Okay. So your homework for last week was #StopTheSabotage. And hello, Alicia. Oh, and Alicia's been watching online for the last 3 weeks. Yay, we are so glad you were here. And sorry about my voice for those of you who are just popping in. So your homework for last week was #StopTheSabotage. And you were going to go ahead and make a plan for whatever that scenario is, if it's already happened, if it had just happened, or if you just want to make sure that you're not in that situation again, you were going to go ahead and make a plan for that and then let us know what you did. So here are 3 of the homeworks from last week. Y'all know I love things in 3s. So Sylvia was having one of those days. And we all have them. I'm sure we all have one of those days. And whatever one of those days means for you, she was having one of those. She was already tired. And then her husband announced he needed to go help his brother. And he really did need to go help his brother. This wasn't just brother needs help taking out the trash or whatever. He really did, he really did need to go help his brother. So she was home alone. So, so she snacked on some goldfish. But then snacking on the goldfish led to some chips. And then before things got out of control, she realized she was not in control. Okay, she realized she was not in control, which I think shows excellent control. To know, to realize, be aware that you're not in control shows excellent control. Okay, Sylvia? And so when she realized she wasn't in control, she stopped and she fixed a 0-point dinner of chicken breast and some air-fried broccoli. I thought that was a fantastic idea. She definitely stopped the sabotage. Hello, Myra. She stopped the sabotage and she showed so much control during being out of control. Okay, I think that was fantastic. Sandra actually is going to get credit for this week and she's going to get credit for next week. And you'll learn why here in just a few minutes. But Sandra is planning a different route home so that she doesn't pass so many drive-up windows. Wow. I mean, she is stopping the sabotage right there. just by driving a different way home. So she's not going to make it easy. And that's foreshadowing. That is foreshadowing for the next topic. But she is planning a different route so that she doesn't have to pass so many places that it is tempting, hello Roberta, to pull over and go through the drive-thru. Fantastic. Wow. That's all I can say, Sandra. And then Deanna, y'all need to sit down. If you didn't already see this, you need to sit down. Deanna tracked a 107-point day. Did you hear me? Are you listening? She tracked. And in these notes, tracked is in all capital letters. She tracked a 107-point day. She put it on paper. She put it in her tracker and she posted it. She tracked it. We've all had one. We have all had a 3-digit day, okay? If you haven't had a 3-digit day, it's because you didn't record it. You just didn't record that you had it. She tracked it, and boom, that is how it's done, okay? I just literally want to go, I can't drop my microphone because I paid too much money for it, but I just literally want to go, boom, because you all nailed it this week. Nailed it. Yeah, and Susan says she owned it. And she's got, let's see, a peace sign, flames, and an emoji with cool sunglasses on. Susan is right. Deanna owned it. She did. So bravo. If y'all could feel how strong these Bravo stickers are coming, they are coming at you hot. They're coming in hot. Okay? Bravo to everyone who did their homework this week. And y'all can do your homework too next week. So don't forget. Because somebody, I'm sure, when I announce what next week's homework is, will type it so that you don't have to just rely on my voice to tell you what the homework was. Okay, so this week I've got a little fable for you. So this is a real fable. I know fables are fables, but this is a real one. Like, I didn't write this one. Aesop wrote this one. Okay, so this is called The Fox and the Grapes. And you may have already heard this, but I haven't heard it in a long time. And I'm going to read you the story really quick, even though my voice is fading. A fox one day spotted a beautiful bunch of ripe grapes hanging from a vine trained along the branches of a tree. The grapes seemed ready to burst with juice, and the fox's mouth watered. Watered, can you imagine that? Watered. The fox's mouth watered as he gazed longingly at them. The bunch hung from a high branch, and the fox had to jump for it. The first time he jumped, he missed by a long way. So he walked off a short distance, and he took a running leap at it, only to fall short once more. Again and again he tried, but it was in vain. Now he sat down and he looked at the grapes in disgust. "What a fool I am," he said. "Here I am wearing myself out to get a bunch of sour grapes that are not worth gaping for." And he walked off very, very scornfully. Okay, there are many who pretend to despise and belittle that which is beyond their reach. And that is an Aesop's fable, and that is from Aesop's Fables for Children. So I know y'all are thinking, Kelly, what on earth? What does that have to do with anything? Okay, so story time. You know how much I love story time. This has everything to do with WW, okay? Everything. So the easier it is to make a choice, the more likely we are to do it. But if the choice is too hard, if we make it too hard, or if we don't find ways to make it easier, then we can convince ourselves that it wasn't the right thing or that it isn't the best thing anyway. There are scientific studies that show that taking the path of least resistance isn't because you're lazy. It's because our brains are trained to do that. I could go on and on and on for about 15 or 20 more minutes that we don't have about tests that were run on people, making it more and more difficult to make a choice, just a computer generated choice where you just circle something or move something, and every time they step it up and make it harder, these people's brains actually decided, like their brain went, oh no, that's not moving that direction, that's moving this direction, or that's not what's happening, this is what's happening, because it was easier to say that it was for your brain to think that it was moving this direction. Does that make any sense? So the fox's brain said, since the fox was having trouble getting to the grapes, jumped, didn't make it, ran hard, jumped again and didn't make it. So the fox's brain said, oh, well, they're sour anyway. The fox's brain didn't know. It hadn't tasted any of them. But his brain decided, his or her brain decided that the grapes were sour just because it was going to be too hard to try and get them. Okay, that happens to us too. So we're kind of like that fox and those sour grapes. If something's too hard, we'll just give up and say, nope, wasn't the right thing for me anyway, and we'll walk off. But on the other hand, if you can make a behavior harder, if it's a behavior you want to get rid of, if you can figure out a way to make it harder, then you can also help yourself stop that too. Does that make sense? If it's already too hard, if you don't make it easier and you want to do it, you might need to find a way to make it easier. But if you want to stop that behavior, if you can find a way to make it harder, it can help train your brain to think, nope, that wasn't right for me too. So it works both ways. Okay, so let's talk about that just a little bit more. So if you want to be no more sour grapes, so if you wanted to keep, if you're trying to keep or start a behavior and you're trying to get rid of those sour grapes, you want to make it easier. So you can make it easy. You can make it easier to do something like, let's say if you want to take a walk, every morning or every afternoon or every time the dog barks or whatever. If your shoes are already at the door, you just made it easier. So that's something easy to do, and they're right there, and you just have to slip them on, and then you can go for a walk. So that would be training your brain to think, oh, it's easy to go for a walk. I just slip on my shoes and I'm out the door. Slip on my shoes and I'm out the door. Slip on my shoes and I'm out the door. But if you have to go hunt your shoes down, if you have to go find them, then at some point your brain's going to say, forget it. Taking a walk is not for me. That is too hard. You are going to waste all of your time trying to find your shoes. And then the next thing you know, you're sitting on the couch flipping through cute cat videos and cute baby videos. Okay. So, put the shoes at the door. That's one example. Put the shoes at the door. Easy to go, easy to go, easy to go, easy to go. Okay. And, make it easier. Don't go hide your shoes. That's going to make it harder. Put them where you can find them. And that's just a walking example. There are lots of other examples. Okay. If you want more sour grapes, so more sour grapes, please. If you're trying to stop a behavior, you can do just the opposite. So if you want to end a behavior, you can make it harder. So I said in the first part of the chat that Sandra was going to get credit for last week's homework, and she's already getting credit for next week's homework because she has decided, so in her effort to stop her own self-sabotage, and that's Celia, in her effort to stop her own self-sabotage, she is finding a different way to go home that is harder to go through a drive-through. So by going a different route, and that's literally all she's doing, she's just changing the route that she is driving. Yep, and Sylvia says, hide the goldfish. Exactly. Or just don't buy them. I can't buy Cheez-Its. Can't do it. Yeah, I'm addicted to them. I like them better than goldfish. So I don't do it, or I'll buy them and bring them here at work. I just make it harder for me to be able to get into them. So Sylvia, again, for this week, she's already done her homework because she is taking a different route home, and then it's going to make it harder for her to stop at the drive-thru. And you know what? After a series of repeated behavior, driving the other way, driving the other way, driving the other way, driving the other way, you know what suddenly is going to become easier? It's going to be easier for her to go ahead and go home and grab the food that she already had prepared. So how easy is that going to be? So instead of having to say, oh, don't look at that, don't look at McDonald's, don't look at the Arches, don't look at Taco Bell, don't look at, they won't be there because she'll be driving a different way home, and then she can just eat whatever she had prepared at home. I mean, how easy is that? How easy is that to get rid of the stopping at a drive-through behavior and reward the going home and eating what you had, what you had planned behavior? And then rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Y'all know how much I like to rinse and repeat things. Okay, so once you've identified the one behavior, so once you have identified one behavior and you either make it easier so that you can start that behavior, or you make it hard so that you stop that behavior. So once you've mastered that one, so once you've mastered those grape skills, I want you to find another one, and I want you to keep going. So I want you to keep going, and it doesn't have to be, and keep it or lose it every time, but I want y'all to keep going. So master one. Don't try to do all of it at the same time. So don't make a list of the 10 things that you want to stop or start. Do one thing, master it, and then move on to another one. Okay, so for your homework for this week is going to be hashtag sour grapes, hashtag SOURGRAPES. And while I'm telling you your homework, I'm going to heat my water back up so I can have a little bit of tea for this second part so that I can keep talking. But your homework is hashtag sour grapes, SOURGRAPES. And I want you to figure out what's that one behavior that you're either going to start or that you're going to stop, and then tell us how you're going to make it easier or harder, okay? And then tag me in it. So on Instagram, it's going to be at IfYouHaveAnEgg. Here on the Facebook page, it's at IfYouHaveAnEgg. And if you are, thank you, Alicia, for posting that. And if you are in our closed group, you can just tag at Kelly Green Milligan, or if you do the hashtag sour grapes, it should notify me that you have posted that. Okay. So that's your homework. Don't forget to do it. Share, share, share. Casey has already made the graphic for this week, and it's adorable. It's adorable. So, let's see. Loretta says, that's me. Her life is complicated with her son living at home, and she wants to watch what she eats, but he's a great cook. So maybe, and hello, Barbara from the Crossroads. So maybe, Loretta, can you find some recipes that are more WW friendly and give them to him? And I'm serious when I say this. I know I'm sidetracking a little bit, but I think Loretta's not alone. I know Loretta's not alone because I had the same problem for several years in a row. I had a wonderful friend. I still have the wonderful friend, but I had a wonderful friend who was a wonderful cook. And that's her love language. So her love language is feeding people. Like her son had, when one of the hurricanes was headed towards where her son lives, she was literally beside herself giddy because she thought she was going to have an entire house of people, okay? And she was planning getting the grills out and food and all this stuff all she was going to make. So that was her love language, is feeding people. She wasn't doing it to be malicious or mean. She loves people. So what I had to start doing here at work was bringing her in a recipe a week and saying, oh, I would love it if you would make this for me. Can you try this for me? I don't have time to make this one. Or can we make this one for everybody? Can we make this recipe and share it with everybody? And that really, really helped to, fulfill her desire to please everybody, to bless everybody with food. And it helped me to stay on plan because I gave her the recipe. So anyway, that's just something to think about. But yeah, hashtag sour grapes. That is your homework for this week. We are not quite to the halfway point, but I tell you what, since my voice is a little bit creepy, I'm going to go ahead and say we are. So if you are brand new with us, we do 30 minutes on a normal day when I'm not creepy, which has not been here lately. We do 30 minutes of whatever Weight Watchers went over the prior week in their in-person workshops. And then we take a break. So everybody's going to take a break and drink some water. And then we are going to start the second half. And the second half is always fun, or I think it's always fun. Okay, so everybody stop, get your drink of water. I am going to get a drink of water first because this is boiling hot water. And yes, Sandra, it is time for me to have some hot tea. We're going to let it cool off just a little bit though, because I don't know if you noticed that water was boiling. So I'm going to drink a little bit of water and then I'll drink my tea. Okay, so everybody drink your water. If you haven't been with us before, the drinking of the water and the putting on of the apron tells Casey, who posts our YouTube videos, it tells her that this is the halfway point, and you too. So if you're going to be watching this later, if you just wanted to see the second half, or if you wanted to catch up on the second half, then you'll know when it is because the apron goes on most of the time. Now, 2 weeks from tonight, so it's not next week. Next week, we will still be in town. 2 weeks from tonight, fingers crossed, all good things said, hopefully we will be at Disney. So nobody tell Alyssa. I know she is there with Papa and probably listening to me. Nobody tell her. Hopefully John and I will be at Disney for his birthday, okay? Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, this is the second half of chat number 264, and we were talking about either starting or stopping a habit, or an activity. Yes, Barbara, we're trying. We are trying. We really, really, really need it. We really need it. We really need a break, okay? We really, really need a break. But it'll just be John and I. It will not be no kids. No kids and no grandkids. So this will be interesting. And I already feel guilty. So nobody needs to guilt trip me about that. Okay, so anyway, first half of the chat is chat number 264. Today is March the 13th. And we were talking about sour grapes. We were talking about making something that you want to do. Hello, Julie. Something that you want to do easier, and a behavior that you want to stop about making it harder. Okay, so speaking of things that are harder, this week is, oh no, Loretta says, if I go, I'm not coming back. So speaking of making things easier or harder, this week, St. Patrick's Day is this week. So St. Patty's Day is on the 17th, and that is also mine and John's, I believe, 33rd wedding anniversary. And John, if you were still there, you will have to correct me if I'm wrong. Once you pass 30, and we've been dating and or married, let's see, 40 years, almost 40 years. I don't know. So once it's that long, it is. Yeah. And bye, Lynn. Take care of yourself. Let us know how you're doing later in the week. But once you get that far, once you've been together that long, it's just every day. You know, it's just one big long day. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure it's our 33rd wedding anniversary. So those are right around the corner. And I've got 3 ideas to help you celebrate. So not since Dr. Seuss' Green Eggs and Ham have I seen so many foods and beverages dye the brilliant green color of the emerald isle. So that brilliant, beautiful, you know, emerald color, green hue for, you know, of the emerald isle. A friend in high school, actually, her mother actually let us make green eggs and ham for Dr. Seuss and for St. Patrick's Day. So she let us make green eggs and ham, and it was disgusting. The color was disgusting, but we did it, and then she made us eat it. Okay, so Knoxville has become the Mecca, or not the Mecca, it has become a Mecca for St. Patty's Day celebrations. And I'm hoping that it will, let's see, I'm hoping that the closed captioning will spell it correctly. Let's see, Mecca for St. Patty. Nope, it spelled it wrong. It spelled it wrong. So it's not Patty with a T, it's St. Patty's, Paddys. But anyway, we can talk about that later, about what the correct spelling of St. Patty's Day is. But Knoxville has become kind of a Mecca for that. John says, and I think I'm about ready for my tea. John says that, I think it's Amherst, Ohio, apparently is a little crazier than we are when it comes to St. Patrick's Day celebrations. And, Elaine, 54 years that you've been married? Oh, wow. That's fantastic, Elaine. I'm pretty sure it's Amherst, Illinois that John says outdoes us. But anyway, so when John and I decided to get married, we decided to get married on St. Patrick's Day out of a matter of convenience. So, oh no, and Debbie says that Tampa dyes the river in Tampa green. That's fantastic. But we decided to get married on St. Patrick's Day as a matter of convenience. So it was the Friday before spring break started for UT. I was attending UT, and John worked at UT, at the University of Tennessee. Go Vols! And apparently we did a fantastic job at basketball today. So I think we were playing Kentucky. Go Vols! Anyway, and congratulations, Vicky, 44 for them in August. But so really, it was just a matter of convenience. So first day of spring break, or it was the weekend before spring break for UT, and I went to school there and John worked there. So it was a matter of convenience. But my maiden name is Green. John's last name is Milligan. So Kelly Green becoming Kelly Green Milligan, and then serving green punch. You know, it was just too easy. It was just too easy, and it all just kind of fell together, you know. And as the years passed, it was easy for us to remember. Yeah. Oh, so we're the SEC champs? What? Anyway, I'll have to catch up to that in a few minutes. I just saw a teeny tiny bit of the Vols news on Facebook, and it's funny. It was only girls talking about it, no guys. But anyway, so it was just too easy, and it was too easy for us to be able to remember. So anytime anybody questions me on when St. Patrick's Day is, I know, because that's also our wedding anniversary. Okay, so 33 years later, we live in downtown Knoxville, and it has become kind of a big to-do. So St. Patrick's Day has become a big to-do, you know, here in Knoxville. So we have everything from parades to pub crawls. We will be Erin Go Bragh downtown this weekend. I promise everything will go green this weekend. Okay, so, but I'm confident that we will end up going out somewhere to eat. Our anniversary is on a weeknight. We live in downtown Knoxville. The weather is clearing back up again. Remember, my voice is like this because last week we had 65, 70. I think it got to like 74, 75 one day. And then literally the next day, not kidding, not lying, the next day we had 6 inches of snow. And then this morning it was like single digit temperatures. Okay, so that's what's up with my throat. All of our beautiful daffodils they were all covered in snow. I'm hoping that the peepers went back underground because the little frogs were out. But anyway, you know, it's going to be beautiful again this week. So like in the 60s again this week. So Karen is in San Diego visiting her son, my accountability buddy. So we normally walk on Thursday nights. She won't be here this week to walk. It's going to be our anniversary. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day. Knoxville celebrates St. Patrick's Day in a big way. And we are getting ready to go to Disney again. So I got to kind of keep this under control, okay? So what am I going to do? What am I going to do to make sure that I have the luck of the Irish and I don't tip over my pot of gold, okay? I can't afford to tip over my pot of gold before we leave to go to Disney for a week. So I have 3 ideas of things that you can do to celebrate green. You can go green without going crazy and without using a lot of points. Okay, the first one. This is for me and Alyssa tomorrow, and I think she's really going to like it. She's suddenly into Jell-O. So she is just suddenly, like every time I talk to her, she goes, Nona, I had Jell-O. And I'm like, that's fantastic. She thinks it's like the most special thing that there is on the planet. And you know what? It is when you're 4 years old. I also like Jell-O though. And if you've been with us very long, you've heard me say, my mom used to make us, as a treat, when my dad was out of town. He did not appreciate this at all. Okay, but as a treat, when he was out of town, my mom would make us lime Jell-O, but she would put pears in it. And we loved it. We loved pears with lime green Jell-O. So I made a pot of gold Jell-O. This is going to be for Alyssa and I tomorrow. So she is spending the night with us tonight. It will be too late when I get home for her to have any of this. But tomorrow she will be with me all day because I'm off from work on Mondays with her. So we're going to have some pot of gold Jell-O tomorrow. You literally just take a box, the small box of sugar-free lime Jell-O. And if you don't like lime, you can do another flavor. It just won't be very St. Patty's like. But it is literally small box of sugar-free Jell-O. The instructions are going to say, let me tell you what the instructions say. Oh, where is it? Oh, I folded it down. So the instructions say, add a cup of boiling water. So you pour the powder, and I pour it into a measuring cup just so that when I'm done mixing, I can pour it in whatever I'm going to put it in. So it says to mix a cup of boiling water and then stir for 2 minutes and then add a cup of cold water before you put it in whatever you're going to put it in to make it into Jell-O. If you're going to add fruit to it, so I've done this with pineapple before, I do it with pears because that's what my mom did with the lime Jell-O. So pineapples, pears, any kind of fruit that's in a can that does not have any sugar added. It's not in heavy syrup. It either needs to be in its own juice or it needs to be no sugar added. These particular pears have Splenda on them, so they're a little extra sweet. But if you're going to put it with fruit, cut back on the water a little bit. So I ended up doing almost 3/4 of a cup of boiling water and then almost 3/4 of a cup of cold water. You don't want to do the full cup and the full cup, or it makes it too runny because the fruit already has juice in it. Okay, and I think I already have a recipe on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com that tells you how to do, pretty sure I do. So if you go look on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, pretty sure I have one where you just open a can of pineapple, of sliced pineapple, drain it, do the same thing with the Jell-O, pour it in there, let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, and then when you plunk it out, you can slice it, and it makes like Jell-O slices. So this is going to make 2 Jell-O squares. Oopsie. Sorry, the condensation from the refrigerator is dripping a little bit. So this I just did in the super cubes. This is a 2-cup super cube, and you can see it's about a cup and a cup. And so tomorrow, when I get this home for Alyssa, because she's not getting it tonight. So when I get this home for Alyssa, we will just cut out, we can cut out little cubes. We can just sit and eat it straight out of the super cube. But lime Jell-O, and I'll get a little bite for you, but lime Jell-O with pears in it just made me think of a pot of gold for St. Patrick's Day. Tastes like Nana. Yeah, that tastes like Mom. I have to lick the Jell-O off. Because I too love Jell-O, and I can't wait to have this with Alyssa tomorrow. So sugar-free Jell-O is 0 points. The pears, as long as you did not check that you were diabetic or that you were pre-diabetic on your evaluation, then it should be 0 for the pears also. If you did check that you were diabetic or pre-diabetic when you did your assessment, then you might have points for the pears, but I promise it's worth it. So that's a pot of gold Jell-O, because the pears were gold, Jell-O's green, so it's a pot of gold. Okay, the next thing is, and I'll go ahead and take another sip so I can keep talking. Okay, the next one is Leprechaun Overnight Oats. So y'all know I had this love-hate relationship with overnight oats in the beginning. I have a very dear friend who was eating them every day before she went to work. She works in the Oak Ridge National Laboratories, and they have to be there every single day. I think it's like 6:30 or 7 o'clock for a safety meeting. And it's the same safety meeting every single day, which as a prior I mean, I wasn't an OSHA trainer, but as the prior coordinator of our OSHA training, I can tell you if you have the same meeting every single day, you might as well not have the meeting, okay? Anyway, so to keep her strength up, because it was so early in the morning, she was eating overnight oats every day. I tried them. I didn't like them. I think Carol Lute has decided she does not like them because she doesn't like the texture of the oats. Two little bits of advice. Do not use quick cook oats. If you use quick cook oats or instant oats, they don't turn out right. That's what I was using because that's what I already had. They're not right. It's not the right texture. You have to use, so that's tip number 1. You have to use old-fashioned oats. I have not tried it with steel-cut oats. Probably won't now that I've perfected it with the old-fashioned oats. But again, I didn't think I was going to like them. If Carol is still here, I'm pretty sure that's why she didn't like them was the texture. That's why I didn't like them either was the texture. But again, tip number 1, use old-fashioned oats. Do not use quick-cook oats. Second tip is, if it seems weird to you to eat your oatmeal cold, which some flavors don't feel right when they're cold. You know what I mean? I don't know, like some of the ones that I make, like the peppermint, let's see, I think I made some peppermint white chocolate last year at Christmas maybe, and I don't know, it just felt weird being cold. You can pop them in the microwave. So what you're making them in is probably going to be either plastic or glass. I make mine in glass, in a glass jar. So you can just take, like, this is a metal lid, but a glass jar. You can just pop them in the microwave for a minute or two, and it almost makes a muffin. So has anybody else done that? So I need to know, because I need to know if this is a good tip for people. Has anyone else taken their regular overnight oats recipe, popped it in the microwave for a minute or two, and made it more into like a muffin? And did you like that better than the cold overnight oats? So seriously, need to know. Need to know, and I've got a couple of y'all on here need to know, because there are a couple of y'all that were like, no, you all had the same reaction to overnight oats that I have to cottage cheese, and I totally understand that, and I respect it, okay? I totally understand it. Okay, Barbara says yes. So Barbara, tell us what you did. Did you pop it in the microwave? Was it like a minute or 2 minutes? You know, how long? Yeah, and I knew, Carol, I knew it was you. I knew it was you. But yeah, so some of y'all need to know, because again, the reaction I get sometimes over overnight oats is exactly how I feel like I look when y'all say cottage cheese, and I'm over there going, I need to keep it calm. Keep it calm, Kelly. Calm down. Okay, so these are Leprechaun overnight oats, and they're Leprechaun because they are green. So, yep, and Mary says she would eat it if it was warm. So these are green. These are green overnight oats. And the green overnight oats, it is, I'm going to show you how to make some here in just a second, because I will definitely eat this more than one day. Yeah. Okay. And Carol says that's not going to work either, because no matter what kind it is, she can do dry oats, but she cannot mix them in anything to make them liquid. Not even if it was the consistency of banana bread. Could you do that? Or like the consistency of a muffin? But anyway, super easy to make. I'm going to show you how to make one here in just a second. So these are Leprechaun overnight oats. And look how pretty and green they are. And just because it's not green, I didn't go ahead and add my fruit to this, because I love, this is pistachio pudding. And I'll show you how to make it here in a second, but I love cherries with pistachio. So I have some frozen black cherries in the freezer, obviously because they're frozen, that I'm going to put on this, but that wasn't very St. Patrick's-y, so I didn't show you that. But let's go ahead and try this. So Carol Lou, just look away. Look away, because I'm going to be trying the overnight oats. And Sylvia says she loves to make oatmeal into a muffin. I agree. I love pistachio flavor. I love it. Love it. These are so yummy. So let's see how to make these real quick. This is going to be fantastic with the cherries on top. Okay, so to make these oats, you're going to take just a glass jar, a plastic container, something big enough for this to kind of grow a little bit in. And the first thing you're going to do is put your dry ingredients in. So this is about 1/4 cup of old-fashioned oats. This I already mixed together, but this is a teaspoon of Truvia baking blend. You can use your whatever your favorite no or low calorie sweetener is. That, and then it has a teaspoon of it has a teaspoon of chia seeds, And it has, and Carol Lou, I'm not going to read that out loud, but that's exactly how I feel when you all say cottage cheese. But anyway, so a teaspoon of Trivia baking blend, teaspoon of Trivia baking blend, or your favorite artificial sweetener or non or low calorie sweetener, and a teaspoon of chia seeds. And then it has a tablespoon of sugar-free pistachio jello and jello pudding mix. So this is dry jello pudding mix, and it's pistachio. And if you don't like pistachio, again, you can use another flavor. I mean, I use chocolate. Not kidding. I have an entire drawer at home. So at home, I have a drawer. Well, let me do the right way. I have a drawer that's not quite that size, but when you open it, it's lined with jello and jello pudding boxes, okay? And it does have some sprinkles and things like that for Alyssa, but not kidding. I have an entire drawer of jello and jello pudding. So, and if you can't find the pistachio flavor, I think there's a link to it on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com under shopping. I'm pretty sure I put a link to it on there. So those are the dry ingredients. Well, almost all the dry ingredients. If you like protein powders, or if you've been adding protein powders to things, you can go ahead and put that in now. I have been doing the Vital Proteins collagen. Let's see which kind I have. Collagen Peptides. So I've been doing the Vital Proteins collagen peptides. I am not selling these. I just like them because I like the way they make my hair look, and I like the way they make my nails. So I'm going to go ahead and put a scoop of that in there. So now is the time to put whatever your other dry powder is. If you're doing a protein powder, put it in now. And you're going to stir all of that together. And then to that, you're going to add about another 1/4 of a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, or I already had some yogurt opened, so I'm just going to add that to it. And yes, I did finally find the Chobani Zero Sugar. So this is 1 point for a container. For the entire container, I used half of it in the first thing of overnight oats, and I'm using the rest of it in this one. And I have to say, it's pretty dang delicious. I've only tried the vanilla, but it's pretty good. I'll be looking at the Publix in Orlando when we get down there, Debbie. Just saying. Okay, and then about 1/3 of a cup of some kind of milk. And it can be, this is unsweetened plain soy milk. You can use almond milk. You can use, if you want to use a Premier Protein, if you want to use, any kind of a protein drink, something like that. It just needs to be some kind of milk. I've made overnight oats with kefir before. Kefir's a restaurant that we have here in town. Kefir. We have a restaurant here in town called Kefi, and so I always try to call it kefir. Anyway, kefir. You can use that. You just need something kind of liquidy. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you most certainly can use vegan or vegetarian yogurt. You don't have to use a milk-based yogurt, but you're going to put that in there. If you wanted like some chocolate chips or something, you could put those on top. And then all you do is, where is my lid? Oh no! Oh, there it is. I started to say, I know I brought that over here. And then literally all you do is just put the lid on there, and you don't have to put the fruit in until the next day. If it's a sturdy fruit, you could go ahead. Those cherries weren't very St. Patrick's-y, so I didn't put them in there. Also, sometimes the fruit, if it's got a lot of color, it's going to leak down and it makes it look funky. I usually save bananas until the next day. So that's just up to you. So there you go. That is the Leprechaun Overnight Oats, and that is the pistachio flavor. So that's going to be nice and fluffy for in the morning to eat. And I can either eat it cold or I can eat it warmed up. Then last but not least, we're going to make 4-leaf clover eggs. 4-leaf clover eggs. I don't know. I couldn't come up with a better name. It's literally just deviled eggs. So we're going to make deviled eggs, but we're going to make them with guacamole. The only thing I'm sad about is that my weed dealer did not come through this week. So I know, new people, you're thinking, what on earth is she talking about? So my weed dealer grows microgreens, and he was supposed to have already brought me, I was supposed to already have some, I'll have to clean off my spoon. Hold on, please. Because I foolishly decided to use the same spoon for everything. Anyway, it's going to be so good. He was supposed to have already brought me some cilantro microgreens. He didn't show up. So we're just going to do the guacamole, and then hopefully he will bring me some cilantro. I know, Carol's like, say what? Yeah, he's my weed dealer because he brings me weeds. He brings me microgreens. So it's microgreen cilantro, broccoli, cabbage, sunflower. So basically, he has trays in his daughter's bedroom, which his daughter's getting married. So it's not her bedroom anymore, but they raise microgreens. And so when they're babies, it's baby plants, and they look like little tiny weeds. So I call him my weed dealer. Plus that makes it more fun when he shows up and he says, hey, I'm Kelly's weed dealer. I'm here, to see her or whatever. And they look like weeds in a little container. Anyway, I digress. But it's little teeny tiny plants. I mean, they're only like this tall, and they're adorable, and they're so tender, and they're so fresh. So hopefully it will come before I eat all of these, so that I can add some cilantro to the top, because that would be fantastic. So these are just hard-boiled eggs that I hard-boiled in the air fryer. So you all know I can't cook a hard-boiled egg to save my life. I can peel them. If my sister makes them, I can peel them. My dad used to make them all the time. I can peel his. I'm a mean hard-boiled egg peeler. Was not having any success in my adult life with making and peeling my own hard-boiled eggs. So I started making them in the air fryer. Fantastic. It's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. It is a fantastic way to do hard-boiled eggs. You cook them for, I only put 4 in my basket at a time, and I use a Simple Living Products air fryer, but I only do 4 at a time. And you put them in there for put them on 260 degrees for 16 minutes. So it's 260 for 16 minutes. And then when you take them out, I put them in an ice bath, and they come out perfect every single time. So you can see perfect hard-boiled egg. So cooking them in the air fryer, only way. That's the only way for me. We did, Popcorn Karen and I did an Instant Pot when I was at her house. It's been a couple of years ago. The Instant Pot also worked well, but my gosh, it took forever. It took forever. Oops, let me get my little bowl here. So Instant Pot was a great idea, but again, took forever. Okay, let's get our egg yolks out here. And you can make as little or as much as you want. You do not have to use already prepared guacamole. You can do, you can do, if you want to make your own, you can just get some avocado. If you like avocado, you could just use avocado to make the insides. I'm going to use, because I had bought so many of these for the taco bar and for some other things. And see how easy that flipped out? I'm telling you, air frying is the way to go. So I had bought so many of these Holy Guacamole Chunky. I had bought so many of them that I'm using them for this also. So since I only did 2 eggs, so that's 4 halves, I'm only going to use about half of this container. I've got my other 2 eggs over here, and hopefully I'll get my cilantro microgreens before it's time to use that. So you're just going to, this is so stinking easy, it's not even funny. So you're just going to mash up the egg yolks with the guacamole. This is going to make 4-leaf clover eggs, so it's basically guacamole deviled eggs. But since we're doing this for St. Patty's Day, P-A-D-D-Y', St. Patty's Day, and we're going to call them a cute St. Patty's Day name. And because the guacamole is so smooth, it's like mayonnaise. You don't have to mix mayonnaise with it. You don't have to put anything else in it to make it smooth. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to smooth this all the way down. My sister would be horrified right now if she could see how many chunks of the egg I left in here instead of making this all perfectly smooth. But I wanted to show you all I wanted to at least try one of these for you all. So if you've not tried, I had somebody from Sunday school, she didn't snarl her nose up at me today, but she was talking about the air fryer baked apples, and her husband said, what are you making today? What are you baking today? And when I told them, remember I get to lick my fingers because it's just me. But when I told them that I was making guacamole deviled eggs, they didn't, make the same face that I know Carol Lou was making about the, that I know that she was making about the overnight oats. But it was kind of that face, and they were like, oh, okay. But anyway, there is a very St. Patty's Day guacamole deviled egg or a 4-leaf clover egg. And if you can just imagine, if I had some of that baby cilantro, or if you had cilantro, or if you had some, if you chopped up some other kind of greens and put that on there, that would be such a pretty presentation. And I'm telling you, guacamole and eggs, it's fantastic. And if you weren't making it for St. Patrick's Day, you could put some sun-dried tomatoes in it. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Okay, let me try this for you. It's almost time to go. See, I'm cheating because I already know what they taste like. I love guacamole and eggs, and this makes a great egg salad too. Guacamole makes a great egg salad. Okay, so I hope that gave you some ideas for St. Patty's Day. I hope it gave you some ideas maybe for something fun to do with the kids. I know they would love to make the Jell-O. I know they would love to make the pot of gold Jell-O. Probably even like the deviled eggs, but if you make something green, maybe pair it. Oh yeah, chives would be great, Carol Lou. Maybe pair it with, reading to your kids or your grandkids, green eggs in hand. How much fun would that be? But I had a great time. And of course, now my voice is starting to sound a little more normal now that we're finishing up. But I'm going to go ahead and go rest it. Y'all have a great evening. If you are watching this on YouTube, let that next video go ahead and roll over. And pretty please go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. I would love it if you would subscribe. But y'all have a great week. I will see you next time. Jessica will get these recipes posted. I'm so sorry we have not posted the one from last week yet. I had an epic fail on the noodles here at work, but we'll get to it. We'll make it through it. So y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.